So let's get to it. Take your towel, roll it up. So I take it long ways and roll it up tight so that when you lay down, your head, your spine, and your pelvis are all on the roller, okay? But before we do that, before you do any kind of body work, especially if you're a massage therapist working on someone, you want to do some sort of an assessment. So you have an awareness of what is happening in your body. You can do your corrective stuff and then reassess and see if you made changes. Like that to me just makes sense. Kind of like business. You can't manage something you can't measure. So we have benchmarks and we have goals, right? So let's do this. All you need is room enough to lay down flat. So lay down on your back. Put your arms and hands out. I would say your palms up. Close your eyes and just take a few nice focused breaths and settle into the ground. Settle into your mat and start noticing what you feel. Now, this is the long lost art of awareness, of self-awareness that we need to bring back in order for our bodies to ever function properly. Right? We go through life and we're aware of everybody else's issues, but we don't ever focus on our own. So that's what this whole assessment is about. Being aware of what you feel in your body. Now there's 3 primary areas I'm going to have you focus on: the head, the middle of the body, and the pelvis. Right? So start at your head. What do you notice about your head weight? Is it even? Is your head tilted off to one side or the other? Is most of the weight of your head high, which means your chin would be lifted? Now this is an assessment, so don't change it. Just be aware of it. Put it in your memory bank, because after we do our little sequence, we're going to reassess and see what great changes we made. Now bring your awareness down into your upper body. What do you notice in your upper body? What surface area is the heaviest on the ground? Do you feel most of it up in your shoulders? Do you feel your shoulder blades maybe punching into the ground? Ideally, if you didn't have any challenges happening or any negative adaptions, you would feel most of your body weight, upper body weight, lower in the ribs. Now, bring your awareness to your low back curve. Where is your low back curve? Most of us, it's probably a high back curve. So I want you to take one finger, put it in your belly button. Now, are you lifted off the ground higher than your belly button? That would be a high back curve. Ideally, your low back curve would only start right here at your belly button and go down. So pay attention to that, put it in your memory. How about the hips? What do you notice there? What is heavy on the ground? Do you feel the flesh of your butt cheeks more prominent than you do that flat tailbone? Ideally, that's what you would feel. You would feel more flesh than you do bone. Put that one in your memory bank. Now come down to your thighs. Do you feel the back of your thighs on the ground or not? In a perfect world, if we didn't have challenges in our hips, we would feel the back of our thighs touch the ground. Then come on down into the legs. Just think for a minute, what do you notice the difference between the right leg and the left leg, the calf masses, maybe the space behind the knees? And don't look, because this is just an assessment. What do you notice about your feet? Does it feel like they're both turned out just slightly even to the right and the left? Or are both of them pointing straight up into the sky? Maybe you have one flopping out to the ground on the right, and the other one's doing something wonky on the left. Pay attention to that. Ideally, they would just slightly be turned, making a letter V. And then divide yourself in a right and a left half in your mind. And what do you notice? Are you heavier weighted on one side of your body than you are the other? Or do you feel longer on one side of your body than you do the other? And that's just a little warning to us, a little awareness that, our nervous system is a little out of balance, and our deep stabilizers maybe aren't functioning super well, but we're getting ready to clean that up. All right, bend your knees, put your feet on the ground, turn to your side, and push yourself up. Now, that can be eye-opening to people. Like, man, I'm all out of whack. Yeah, but so what? We have tools that we can fix that. So let's do it. If you have your towel, go ahead and lay it down. If you're confined to a bed, hey, no big deal. Just get your body up off the ground, up on that towel. You can just roll to your side and then roll back on it. If you're on your roller, go ahead and lay back. Now, this is supposed to be calming to your nervous system. So if you lay down and instantly you feel yourself tightening up, get off that roller and get on the towel, okay? This isn't a competition. This is not exercise. Like, the better you do, some award you're gonna get. This is awareness and trying to retrain proper function of the body, okay? So now that you've laid down, Make sure your head and your tail are on the roller. Your knees are bent, feet are on the ground, your arms are just down by your side. And I want you to just gently tilt your body weight to the right and to the left. So we'll call this gentle rocking. And ideally, your pelvis, your spine, your middle, your head would easily just flow back and forth like a baby cradle as one unit. Now, you might find that's not the case. You might find your head's rocking, you're turning your head, turning your neck right and left. You might notice your hips are flopping real easy, but your head's not moving at all. Those are all just common imbalances. So right now we're giving your nervous system a chance to calm itself down and make a better connection. Then find yourself somewhere comfortable in the middle. Stop moving. Then you're going to take one hand and put it on your chest. So your collarbone, so between your collarbone, just right below it. Your other hand is going right below your chest, but above your belly button. So I'd like for you to be able to feel ribs. So my palm is feeling one side of my rib cage and my fingertips are feeling the other side. Now we're going to go into our breath work, what you might have heard as belly breathing or diaphragmatic breathing. The chance of you being able to do this right off the bat is slim to none, so don't get frustrated. This is part of the retraining. Over time, this will become easier. So inhale through your nose and notice what happens. The first little breath is just awareness. Did your chest just rise up? Did that top hand raise? What happened to the bottom hand? All right, now we're gonna go again. Inhale through the nose, and now try to make the bottom hand be the only one that rises up. Nice and slow in the nose, out of your mouth. Now the next breath, let's see about the rhythm of your breath. Are you inhaling the same that you're exhaling? Add that to it. No chest breathing. And then exhale. We're going to continue to just add. Inhale through the nose, try to count to 5. Pause for just a second and then exhale the same amount. Only the bottom hand moving. Now it's okay. If you're at this breath and you still haven't mastered that, it may take you a couple weeks, but that's okay. Now we're gonna switch it up. Drop the elbows down to the ground. Put your palms on your side ribs. Inhale again, and I want you to envision you have a balloon in between your rib cage, and it's pushing your hands out to the right and the left on the inhale. And then on the exhale, the rib cage just collapses back down. You might even find that just a gentle compression with your hands helps. No chest, so we're just continuing to do some retraining here. Inhale again, just observe what's happening. Inhale through the nose. Are the ribs moving at all? If you have to envision that balloon punching up in the front, that's okay. That gets you closer to this diaphragm muscle. Now let's go to the timing thing. Inhale through the nose. Push those ribs out right and left. Envision that balloon. Try to get to the count of 5. Pause for a brief second and then exhale that same count of 5 if you can. Inhale one more time. Balloon, balloon, balloon. Push it out, out, out. If you've mastered the right and the left, how about pushing down? You might feel a contraction in your back. And then exhale and collapse those ribs back down. Good job. And again, don't get frustrated if this is not easy or you can't do it. Now let's add another component, another level of this. The big picture here is we're trying to connect to these deep muscles inside our body we don't have conscious awareness of. Another one of those muscles is called your transverse abdominis. It's going around your body, around the back side. But the muscles down below the belly button, just above the pubic bone, should actually contract. And a way to make that happen is on your exhale, we're going to add a sound. So try this real quick. Just act like you're telling someone to be quiet. Shh. Notice what just happened. And do it loud because that little silent shh isn't going to work. Did you just feel your ribs contract down? Did you feel muscles contract in your belly? Some of you might have felt the belly punch up. Some of you might actually have felt some muscles fire low that felt more like they were going down and out. Ultimately, that's what we're looking for. But again, it may take you weeks, if not months, to get there. Let's try it. Inhale through the nose. Same rib action here. Blow the ribs out right, left, maybe even back. Exhale with your sound. Shh. Notice what just happened. Did you feel that contraction? If you did, hold on to it even after the breath is gone. It's okay if you didn't. Let's try it again. Now you can mix up your sounds. You can exhale with a s, like a snake, or a ha. All of those sounds are causing a vibration that make that contraction happen so that you can connect to it and train it to happen on a regular basis. Let's go again. Inhale. All your inhales from now on are just about making the ribs move, trying to make that diaphragm. Exhale with your sound. Shh. Same exhale that you inhaled, same amount of time. Hold that contraction at the end if you found it, even after the breath is gone. Can you feel it? Relax your neck and shoulders. Good. Let's go one more time. Inhale through the nose. Ribs expand. Envision that balloon. Now exhale with your sound, feeling for that contraction. Shh. All the way down. Hold that contraction at the end. And then let it go. All right, so that section you can pull out at any time when you're driving in your car, you're sitting at work, and just practice those different types of breath work patterns. The ultimate goal is to get out of the chest. All right, let's add on. Now we're going to go into that pelvic tuck and tilt piece. So envision the pelvis. I like hand placements. Take your index finger together, your thumbs together, make a little diamond, little triangle. Put your fingertips on the pubic bone. Put your palms on your hip bones. We're trying to make the pelvic girdle, these bones, move with nothing else moving, right? Not easy, but doable, maybe over time. So here we go. We're going to inhale first and just see what happens. Ribs are going out and left, and on the exhale, I want you to slowly tuck the pelvis up. So the pubic bone is going to go up towards the sky, ultimately kind of curving towards the nose. Exhale, let it go. You'll feel your sacrum or that flat tailbone go back down on the roller. Inhale again. Ribs, no chest, and then exhale and slowly tuck that pelvis up. Tuck it under. Now, hold that tuck for just a minute. I want you to pay attention to what's happening. Are you squeezing your butt cheeks? Are you pushing through your feet? If so, let it go. Are you jamming your head into the roller? Relax everything else but just this tuck of the pelvis. So I'm going to exaggerate it for you. The pelvis tucks up. Some people say tucks under because of squeezing the butt cheeks, but the pelvic bone, the pubis bone, is going up. Can you hold that and let go of your butt cheeks? All right, let's go again. Hands back on your touch points, fingertips on the pubic bone, palms on the pelvic bones, your ASIS, these hip bones. Inhale, all ribs, and exhale and tuck the pelvis up. Unsqueeze the butt cheeks, lighten the pressure in your feet, and then let it go back down to your sacrum. Now let's see if we can tuck on the inhale and let it go on the exhale. Inhale through your nose, ribs expand. Tuck the pelvis, and exhale and let the pelvis go. I like to envision pushing my fingertips on my pubic bone like I'm pushing my pelvis through my legs. Inhale and tuck. Let go of your butt cheeks, unsqueeze, don't press through your feet, and then exhale and let it go. Now please notice, nothing else in the upper body should be moving. You shouldn't be sliding up and down the roller. Inhale again. Slowly tuck that pelvis. Let go of the butt cheeks, relax your head and neck, and then exhale and let it go. Push that pubic bone between the legs. You should feel the sacrum go heavy on the roller, if not into a slight tilt away from you. Now we're going to do a tilt this time, but I want you to be aware of what shouldn't happen. The ribs should not come off of the roller. They should stay engaged, and your whole body should not slide down when you go into a tilt. Okay, so we're going to tuck on the inhale and relax and go right into the tilt of the exhale. Okay, most of you won't be able to do this, so if you can't, just continue to practice the tilt for a while. All right, here we go. Inhale through the nose slowly as you tuck the pelvis. Don't push through your feet. Unsqueeze the butt cheeks. And then exhale, let the pelvis go. Push the pubic bone between the leg bones. Don't let the ribs come up, and tilt the pelvis away. Now, if you feel your back muscles contracting, that's a sign you're not ready to do this yet. Let go of the back. This is the deep muscles doing the job, not the big muscles on the outside of the body. Right? You shouldn't feel an arch come. You shouldn't lift off the roller. Let's go one more time and we'll call it a day. Inhale through the nose. Slowly tuck the pelvis up. pubic bone's going like a wave up towards the nose and the sky. And then I'm gonna exhale, let the pelvis go slide back between my legs and slowly go into that tilt with no movement of the body, no arch of the back, and then let it go. Not so easy, huh? Extend that top leg or that right leg out, gently roll off the roller and flop back down to the ground. What do you notice? Instantly, you should feel more surface area everywhere, especially that low back curve. Let's do a quick reassess. Where's your head weight? Is it more neutral? Is the center of the back of your head where your head is resting on the ground? What about your upper body? Are you more heavily weighted into the lower part of the ribs? Do you feel more of the spine touching the surface of the ground? Is the low back curve, that finger in the belly button will help you. That low back curve, are you lifted a little more consistent with from belly button down, low back curve? How about the hips? Did we make any changes in the hips or the lower body? Some of you may have big changes in the lower body. You might feel more surface or more flesh of your butt cheeks. You might feel masses of your calves more heavily weighted. Maybe your feet feel different position, more even, making a letter V. And then let's check our last little assessment. Divide yourself in that right and left half. What do you notice? Are you more evenly weighted from right to left? Do you feel, if you felt longer on one side, do you feel more even now? All right, let's bend the knees, put your feet on the ground and turn. Give yourself a second, push yourself up. What'd you notice? Big changes? I have yet to meet someone that didn't have changes after doing that sequence. And that sequence, again, anybody can do, everyone should do. Those are the simple little tricks and tips to retraining your body, your brain back to normal autonomic functions. Like I said before, it's not easy to do, but it's simple. There's simple techniques that don't require insurance to pay for it, don't require tools. They just require consistency, awareness, and practice. That's it. Okay, now let's go into some shearing. If you have your roller, go ahead and grab it, and I'm going to expose as much skin as possible that I can expose out here in public. And we're gonna do some fascial shearing on the lower body. Super, super, super quick little reminder about shearing fascia. We are not rolling muscle. As a good body worker, as a good therapist that helps manipulate structure of the body, we should no longer be digging into muscle. We should not be causing pain to fix pain. Sorry, I said it, it's out there. If that is happening, we are not helping you long term. Nope, we're not. If the brain is sending a signal of pain, that is not how you get yourself out of pain. Not happening. And again, you can do this at home yourself, and it's the most effective way to do it. So, simple. We're gonna glide, and when we're gliding, just like in body work, in a massage room, we glide down your back or we glide up your leg as that first initial warming stroke. And maybe you knew this, maybe you didn't, but as we're gliding, we're also feeling for textures. We're feeling for things that feel different underneath our skin, wiry, ropey, stringy, whatever. Now, cool thing about this, you're gonna do better body work on yourself than even I could do on you. Because guess what? You actually feel what I can't touch and palpate and feel. If you feel an area that's tender or painful, that's the magic area that we're gonna work around, not on, right? If you're causing pain, we're not helping it. So we're gonna start with our gliding strokes, and the way that looks on a roller is the roller's gonna be moving, you aren't. We're gonna glide up and down, and we're gonna explore one area at a time. When we find an area that's tender, again, we are not gonna be on that area. We're gonna move a little bit up, down, right, or left, get off that really painful area, and we're gonna start working a little deeper, and we're gonna shear. So if you'll notice my hand, there's no space, right? I'm not gripping and squeezing into muscle. I'm staying on what we call the superficial layer of fascia tissue, and I'm shearing the tissue back and forth to its endpoint. Now, you notice I'm going up and down, but if I'm shearing correctly, and I have a nice firm but gentle pressure, I can go any direction I want to. And I'm gonna tell you, the last 10% of the shear, of the action, is 90% of what we're trying to accomplish here. At the end point, when this shear engagement happens, that's when hydration is magically happening, right? So the magic is in the shear. at the last 10%. So I'm gonna really remind you that over and over, that don't just kind of move around in the middle. I mean, it's fine, it's gonna be helpful, but we want to get this slow endpoint shear thing happening, all right? So again, just like body work, we're gonna work general to specific, superficial to deep. So we've glided, rollers moving, we found some places, now we're doing different types of shear I'll guide you through. And then we're gonna find a place or two to do a deeper work and indirectly shear, which means I'm gonna guide you through moving a body part. We're gonna move a bone. So really cool thing is, if you have been told you're bone on bone in one of your joints, what I hear is yay, because bones are wrapped in their own layer of fascia. Bones float around in this fascial environment inside of us. And if we can shear structures off of structures, shear fascia off of fascia, we create hydration, which hydration then creates space, and hydration gives every system of the body the right ingredients to do their job. Muscles will relax, nerves can glide, just like these beautiful plants back here. If I see a sign of brown or yellow, I think yellow means I'm overwatered, but brown, it looks like it's dying. What do? I pour water into it. I get the environment that the roots are living in hydrated. And then suddenly, I think it's called photosynthesis, all these systems, all these amazing structures that plant have suddenly can do their job. I don't have to know what they are, right? I just hydrate the environment. That's what our bodies do. So let's get to it. All right, so plantar fasciitis people, why don't we start with calves? The pain is in the bottom of the foot, but this whole fascial network is really cool in the fact that we have these pathways. So the primary pathway you're dealing with most of our lower body challenges, especially backside challenges, is our superficial back line. It actually starts up here at our brow, goes over our head, down our back, down our erectors, through our hamstrings, and down through our calves to the bottom of our foot. So although your pain might be here, or your pain might be here if you have Achilles challenges, or you have tight calves, the challenge or the fix could be here and here. And I can tell you, if you have plantar fasciitis, it's a lazy bum. So we need to get that hydrated, and we actually need to get it firing. So I'll put another video later about the firing. I think I just posted one a couple weeks ago, matter of fact. All right, let's get started. All right, again, simple, but listen to my cueing. If I were to frog you in the arm, that direct compression that's really hard and painful, tomorrow will present a knot. Don't frog yourself, right? Don't frog yourself. We're not working on top of the roller, ever, when we're shearing. We're working on the back side or the front side of the roller. So the foot side or the head side, you know, back, front, whatever you want to call it. Just watch this. We're starting with our knees bent. Whatever area we're working on, we want to keep relaxed. And you're going to have to be aware, because the second that the brain gets a signal that says danger, danger, ouch, that's uncomfortable, then weird stuff starts happening. You'll start contracting your feet. You'll start dorsiflexing like this. You'll straighten your legs out. You're going to do some weird stuff. But listen to my cueing as we do it. And we'll move right through this lower body part. Won't take us but about 7 minutes, with me talking maybe 8 or 9. So here we go. We're going to start this section and break it into smaller sections, okay? So let's do both feet at the same time. Just relax your body back. It's always important to engage your core, and glide out just a couple inches and back up, and then turn a little. So I'm going super slow motion for you to see this right now. Turn a little, glide out and back up, and turn a little. So what are you doing? You're exploring. And if you're doing it right, that roller is creeping up. So you can move it back down and start over as we get back to the center. Glide out, and then I'm going to say scoop back in. A little pressure into the roller. Glide out, and then scoop back in. What did you find? Are you finding tender areas? Go slow. So if you're getting a massage and you want to relax, do you want to move it around? Nope. Nor does your fascial tissue. So glide out and scoop back in. The goal is to try to be as consistent with your movements as possible. It doesn't like heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy, light. Just be smooth and consistent. Now we've glided, we've warmed it up, and we found some tender places. I know I did. Now we're going to shear. If it's super tender, you can slowly just log roll by keeping some pressure against the back side of the roller, and log roll. Check your feet. Yeah, I know, they're flexing. Relax them. Now, as soon as you relax them, you probably notice that you melted or sunk deeper into that tissue. That's what we want. So keep it nice and even with your pressure. And if you can handle a little more, let's shear back and forth. So we're pinning the tissue, but we're not moving. We're not moving on top of the roller. Not this. We're pinning the skin and we're flipping the flesh. So you might notice when I take my legs out, you don't see flesh here, you see it over here. When I bring my legs in, the flesh stays, it flips to the outside. So I'm keeping my pressure even, flipping my flesh. Now I can get sexy if I want, I can do some figure eights. I'm gonna bring my pressure in, turn my legs out, drag the flesh back, turn my legs in, drag it in. I really like the figure eight. So we call this directly shearing. So we're shearing directly on an area. Now let's go a little deeper. You may need to cross a leg over. I'm going to creep that roller back down. You might be so tender that you can just lay your legs on the back side of that roller and move your feet. If that's like, I don't know if I'm doing that right, cross one leg over and relax that lower leg. But I'm going to have you make little circles or little U's. So just take your toes and go all the way out, drop it all the way down. Bring it back into the inside. Just move full range of motion. And then compress and wait, take a belly breath. And cross over to the other side. So again, we work general to specific. We work superficial to deep. This is the most deep we can work by pinning the fascial tissue. Knee is soft, right? You see me at an angle, don't be with a straight leg. And move the muscle tissue in between. So you're causing a deeper layer of translation and shearing of the structures that are deeper, closer to the bone, causing hydration. Compress and wait. Now bring the legs back down. I'm about middle of the calf. I'm going to glide out and then scoot back in. Glide out and then scoot back in. Try to keep that pressure consistent and even. And I'm exploring, turning those legs each time, trying to find a different area. And you most certainly can do one leg at a time if you want. I don't need to because it would hurt if I did. This is slightly uncomfortable but not painful. So do you notice I'm exploring? I'm turning to the opposite side. Now I'm going right into my shear. So we're going to keep real time now. So again, I can shear by back and forth. I can figure eight. These are just ways of direct shearing. Relax your feet. Let them flop around. Don't dorsiflex. Don't pull your toes up. If it's super tender, I can log roll slowly and evenly. High knees, working on the back side of the roller. And if I don't feel anything, I can work one leg at a time and do that same sequence with one leg stacked on the other. Yep, that's not working for me. And then my deepest layer of shearing is moving that foot. So I'm pinning the tissue, nothing's moving up here, just that foot is moving. So you can feel that shear, that translation of deeper structures. So we just hydrated from superficial to deep. Cross over, do my indirect shear over here. Right. If you've got plantar, actually the calves have so many amazing jobs. They actually even act as a pump to help keep fluids moving through the body. You know, we're a pressure system. That's a whole nother video. All right, compress and wait, take a belly breath. Now let's move into the back of the thigh, so our hamstrings. Now you're gonna do this laying down. If you need to watch me, you can sit up for right now. But when you do this, again, I'm gonna do it with my hands first. All we're doing is flipping the flesh, okay? So if you take your hands and encapsulate your muscles, firm but gentle, just like we did on our arm, you're not squeezing. So if you're bending knuckles, you're squeezing too hard, just shear, twist that muscle tissue, all those fascial layers around the bone. That's what you're gonna do, but use this as a nice little barrier to work off of, okay? You can do both legs at the same time, or you can do one leg at a time. If you have, I'm gonna pull this back down to make this tight. If you have knee pain challenges, if you have anything, back of the thighs is important. Hamstrings are important. Because why? Because of this. Because we sit all the time. We lengthen these attachments. Most of my runners and athletes hurt here. Well, that's an overstretched, weak tissue. Dehydrated fascia, not tight muscles that I need to stretch more. And what do? We stretch them. We need to get hydration back in this tissue. And guess what else is back there? Cellulite. So compression, fascial tissue under direct compression, frogs ya. Sustained compression for a long amount of time dehydrates it, and then guess what comes out between it? Adipose, fat. And that's what you see, cellulite. That's why we don't really have it anywhere else. We don't compress anything else. Pretty cool, huh? Now, definitely behind the knees. We're not in the crease, we're just above it where these tendons are. And we want to get hydration big time in here. So you'll notice when I take my legs in, all my flesh flips to the outside. And like I said, the best way is to lay down. I would bend one knee and get as much twist as you can. Now, notice behind the knee or just above the knee, I can't go very far because there's not that much skin and it's really thick and tight and dehydrated. So shear to the left, shear to the right, shear to the left. So flip the flesh. I'm thinking about that femur bone being a rolling pin on the inside. Shear back and forth. And you're noticing that that roller is slowly creeping up the back of my leg. So if I'm going that last 10%, I'm gonna get a little more range of motion each time. Now I'm noticing, probably from running, tight with IT band challenges, this is like thump, 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 back and forth. So you can stay out here and shear back and forth. Just go to your end point and then back to general. Working all the way up. Now you can take both legs, start over, and you can start behind the knee and do snow angels if you like. Just don't go fast. Make sure that your intention is to go to the end point before you turn the legs and go back out. Go to the end point, come back out. So flipping that flesh in and out. Now, some of you are going to be wanting to straighten your legs out. Some of you are going to be arching your ribs. If that happens, just take your hands and put it onto your hips. Relax your legs. Relax the knees. If you still can't get it, go back to the 1 foot bent and 1 leg at a time. That might be the easiest for you. But work all the way up. So shear to the inside, shear to the outside. Inside, outside. To finish that off, you can take both ends of this soft roller. You can pull it up just like a swing under your honey. So right where your legs meet your booty, if you've had pain up here, you know where I'm talking about, your ischial tuberosity, your attachment of your hamstrings. And you're gonna hold on to that roller. And you can do your same little snow angels. 1 leg at a time is always the easier for me. And you'll notice when you come out to this outside, this lateral side here, it's probably gonna be thick. So if you wanna stay on this outside, shear back and forth. But here's the deal, your brain may want to sit and do this for 10, 15 minutes, and I'm taking longer because we're instructing right now, but get in and get out. You could do your whole lower body in 10 or 15 minutes. 3 to 5 shears in one area, move on. 3 to 5 shears in another area, move on. That's it, all right? All right, now we're gonna take this roller, you're gonna turn to your side, and we're gonna do inner thigh. So if you're familiar with Jane Fonda, back in the day, straight body, ankles, knee, hip, shoulder, straight line. You may not be able to tell that in this video. Take the roller and line it up with you. Now, take the top of the roller and put it out away from you. So you see I'm making a V. This gets really complicated in class. You'll have people flipping it the other way. So the bottom of the roller is like touching your thighs almost, and the top of the roller is away from your body. So if I extend my top arm out, I'd have to extend to touch it, okay? So I'm making a V with my body. All right, now I'm gonna take my top leg and raise it up in the air and bend it at 90 degrees. And I'm gonna drop it down, drop my toes down, and bring the roller towards me so that I'm staying on my side. So I don't want to bring my body to the roller because that makes me move out. That's actually how we're gonna roll. So stay on your side, bring the roller to you to where when you drop your knee down, the roller's hitting right on the crease of the knee. Relax what you're working on. It's gonna start sounding familiar, repetitious right here. Relax the top leg, so don't have it lifted, relax it down. And now the easy part is roll your body towards the ground. You'll notice the roller moves up, and then roll your body back. The roller comes back down. And then we're gliding. So I'm gonna put my toe on the ground because my next roll is gonna be in a different spot. Chris will like that. Glide out and then gently scoot back in. Ooh, baby. Turn again because we're gliding. We're preparing the tissue and exploring for tender areas, and this whole thing is tender. Interesting area. If I only had one area to roll during the day, it'd be a hard choice between my inner thighs and my glutes. Some people would say inner thigh and calves. I don't typically have calf issues. Oh my gosh. So this is an amazing area of the body, has a lot of neurology and lymph nodes and vascularity running through it. So now we're shearing. Foot is relaxed. I'm still at my 90 degree and I'm twisting the flesh. So here we go again. Remember the calves. We can shear back and forth where when I bring my leg up, the flesh is all to the back side. When I bring my leg back, the flesh is to the front. So the roller is not moving now, just the fascial tissue, just my tissue. Think about using my femur bone, my leg bone in here as a rolling pin for the inside. Now I can make little circles if I want to. I'm pinning the tissue and I'm moving my leg around, but the roller's not moving, just my skin. And then that was 3 to 5 of those. And now I'm going to go to that deeper layer. I'm going to bend the knee at 90 and I'm going to attempt to raise my foot up just slowly. Doesn't have to be far. And if it's painful, maybe this isn't the necessary move right now. Maybe I just straighten the leg. Yeah, that's not a whole heck of a lot better. Maybe if it's painful, I tried a different spot and that's not better. So on those days, you can just stick to your basic shear. And these circular shears, if that's all I can do today, that's okay. We don't want to cause pain. Slight discomfort, I'm all right with that, but not pain. Compress and wait, take a belly breath. And you can move on. Do the upper, so the same thing, 3 spots. I'm lower leg, middle leg, and I can do the top. Right, we're gonna flip. Let's do the inside of the other leg. So start again, body is long. My head, shoulders, hips, knee, ankle, the same. Remember the roller is straight, but then I'm gonna tilt the top away from me. So the roller is gonna hit my thigh, top of my thigh, the top is away from me. Raise my leg up at 90 degrees. Drop it down, bringing the roller to me so that my crease of my knee hits the roller. But I'm on my side, so my starting position looks like this. My foot is resting on the ground, relaxing what I'm working on. Roll out, and then scoop back in. So a little pressure back in, just like we did with our calves. Turn a little. Glide out and scoot back in. Turn a little, glide out and scoot back in. Now I could work half of my quad, the front of my leg, from this position. Easily I could transition into come into hands and knees and working my quads. Now for the sake of this video, we're not gonna do quads. I'm focused more on the back line and the adductors. Now we're going into a shear. But just know that that would be a nice transition, a nice smooth transition to do the front of the legs, which is a very important part of the body as well. But most of us, to get started, 1,000,000% your back line is so important. All right, 3 to 5 of those. I'm gonna bend the knee and I'm gonna do my deeper layer of shearing, that indirect shear where I'm moving a body part so nothing else is moving but my leg. And in body work, we actually will call this cross friction, or oh my gosh, I can't even think because this is a little uncomfortable. I'm gonna go to a different area, see if I can straighten. Yeah, woof. I'm just gonna tell you this. If you are doing your inner thigh and you don't feel anything, we gotta check it all. Something's not working. You're holding your leg, I don't know what you're doing. I've not met anyone that this is not a little bit uncomfortable. Usually it's a lot of bit uncomfortable. All right, and we're gonna press and wait, take a breath. And again, you can move up the inner thigh. All right, go ahead and push yourself back up and let's end with your butte. All right, again, so if you think about the pelvis, you got flesh of your cheek on this side, flesh of your cheek on this side, and then right over this sacrum is a flat surface. And there's not really a lot of muscle tissue right here. And interestingly, that's where we have our L4 or our L5, where a lot of those nerve roots that go down your sciatic nerve, that causes a lot of distal challenges. So getting a shear effect and hydrating between these bones, your SI joint, is super important. And I hope that you can envision what we're getting ready to do on that flat surface, again, by on your arm. We're gonna try to get this action happening, okay? So here's the way that's gonna look. Remember, we want a nice, firm, strong core. I'm gonna put my hands out to the right, put my hand out to the left, and try to find some balance. So I'm not heavy in my hands and my shoulders and my ears, just enough support to where I can be on, again, the foot side of the roller, right? We're not working on top of the roller. So maybe you even start from the ground and you come up So that roller is right here across that flat surface, the sacrum. Hands are out, and I'm gonna just shear. I can drop my hips down and shear. I'm trying to get that skin on the back side to move. Now, if you really want, this is Valentine's, February right now that I'm recording this. So if you really want to make an impression on your partner, the best way to roll is skin to skin, skin to roller, because your skin will stick. I mean, I'm just saying, you could do some naked fascial shearing. Yeah, I'll just stop there. All right, so get that tissue moving. So those SI joints, make your core strong, relax your neck. Getting that shearing back and forth, getting hydration back there allows those nerve roots and that stenosis that they say that you have. We can change that. Yeah, we can. Now from this position, why don't we bend this back leg, drop down to this front elbow, and we're gonna roll the upper quadrant of our hips. So again, here's your visual. Here's the top of your pelvis. Here's your natural waist. So roll down and back up to that pelvis. Let the bony landmark be your barrier. So up and down, I'm gliding. Gliding means I'm exploring and I'm warming up the tissue. I'm using this back leg as what's moving me. So I'm turning my whole body and getting that back side of my booty, the upper part, the upper quadrant of my right hip, and I'm rolling this way, exploring this whole big, I call it chunky butt, but the whole top of your pelvis, of your beautiful hips. Now I'm gonna shear. So again, back leg's doing the work. Relaxing what I'm working on. Relax this leg as best I can so I can back and forth shear. Now, I know this might be like the inner thigh. This might be very, very tender, right? And that's okay, but if it's too tender, why don't we try log rolling? Just a little bit of a log roll in, a little bit of log roll out. If it's just like, hey, Laura, I can't do that, just stick to your glides and then we'll move to the other side, okay? Now, if you can tolerate this right now, then we're gonna do that deeper layer. And guess what we have here? A big ball and socket joint that I hear all the time that I'm bone on bone, I need a hip replacement. I'm not saying that medically by your imaging that isn't true. I am just going back to the fact, keep on doing that for a second, that structure into that structure is covered by a surface that is a fascial layer. And if I can shear that labrum off of that joint, ball and socket, that surface area, that articular cartilage in there, and get those tissues shearing off of each other, I am causing hydration. Hydration allows space and gives the environment to where all these other structures can do their job. So please, please, please give it a shot. If you have to have a surgery, you're gonna have to recover afterwards. So why don't we try pre-surgery, pre-recovery? All right, now we're gonna sit ourselves up and do the lower part of our hip. So same deal, starting over. It doesn't get any more complicated than this. Up and down and turn a little. I'm using this back leg, up and down and turn a little, exploring. The things that people get caught doing, they get distracted, they're watching TV or something, and they just foam roll. Same spot over and over and over and over and over. To me, that's a waste of time, it's unnecessary, and it begets to be too much. So just like anything else with the human body, too much, not enough, both are really bad, regardless of what we're talking about. I mean, pick anything. Too much of it, bad. Not enough of it, bad. We got to find it in the middle. So don't just, if you find yourself just glide, 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 shear, 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 more than 3 to 5 times, move on. Too much. All right, and that deeper layer is, there we go with that ball and socket. All the way in, all the way out. That last 10% of the action is 90% of the fix. Good. All right, then you just switch to the other hip. I'm going to turn myself so you can see. All right, let's just go from bottom to go to the other bottom. So you'll see that I'm kind of like sitting up on the roller. So I'm gliding the lower fibers of the glutes up and down and turn a little. Again, my back leg is bent, up and down and turn a little, relaxing what I'm working on. I always think it's fun to kind of compare sides. You know, you'd like to think you're even, but most of us are not even in any way. Now we shear back and forth. Ooh, now that's interesting. Clunk, clunk. If you get the clunk, clunk, let's not clunk, clunk. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Let's log roll, nice and slow. Nice even compression. Like you can kind of envision pinning that tissue and just squeezing toothpaste. Good. Now you might be surprised if you go back and shear, do some circle shears, or Maybe mix up your indirect shear, pin that spot and move into deeper surfaces. Maybe we'll work from the inside out right now. The right technique, the right intention, magic happens. So bet if I go back to it, I'm not clunking anymore. Nope, no more clunking. I love this stuff, and I hope you're loving it too. All right, drop down, upper quadrant of the hip, and then we're gonna be done. So up and down and glide, explore the surfaces. So you see I'm just rolling my body up, so I'm getting the backside all the way to the sacrum, all the way to the SI joint. So working all the way up to the pelvis. Turn, hit the sides. Yep, I did some good warming up and exploring. Not too bad over here. And then I can start my shears. So for me, I'm not too tender, so I'm gonna directly shear back and forth. I can make my circles. I'm trying to stay on the foot side or the back side of the roller. I'm not gonna be on top of it, directly down, okay? Fight the urge to do that. Let your weight be on the side. If it's too tender, I can log roll. Again, using this back leg. And then my deeper layers, after 3 to 5 of these, I can either move to another spot and do it again, or I go right into my deeper layers of moving the bone. So I love envisioning taking that surface up in that ball and socket joint and shearing that labrum, creating hydration all the way in. That last 10% all the way out. You can bend the knee and do it again. That pulls tissue in a different direction. It's a big ball and socket, right? And then relax, compress and wait, and then push yourself up. How do you feel? I wish you could answer and I could hear you right now, but I already know. I can feel the energy through the phone. I know you feel better. Get up and walk around and notice what you feel there. Now, again, if you have lazy butt syndrome, which most of us do, you will want to look at some of my other videos where we do some neural strength, some reconnecting, some strengthening exercises for the glutes. Side leg raise, side leg raise would probably, clamshell, that would be a good one. But I think I posted a couple videos back on this feed in the Journey to 50. So have a great day, an even better weekend, and I'm just excited that you're learning how to take care of your own body. And that tells me that you're gonna have a better quality of life, living pain-free, to be able to go out, live big, spread love, and do all those things. So have a great weekend. See ya.